There's definitely something about hitting the road early and seeing a little bit of light coming up over the mountains and then watching the sun rise. It's magical, actually. And I knew that we had probably about a good 15 more hours to go after our start. But seeing the countryside and all the different terrains, all the different signs, it definitely lent to quite a fun adventure. Also, it was a lot of fun talking to Ed. We never turned the radio on the entire trip. It was definitely cool to go on this road trip and just see the different mountainscapes and just the landscape. It was unbelievable. If you've never gone on a road trip through California, I highly recommend it. It's one thing seeing the beaches, but it's another thing when you're driving through the country and actually checking everything else out that the state has to offer. But the other thing too is it also lends itself to a little bit of time of conversation, of course, but as well as reflection, seeing how others live, seeing everything that's around us, definitely taking the time to go ahead and appreciate what you have. And I highly advise everyone get a chance to get out there and see things, because I think at the end of the trip, your eyes will be open to things that, well, perhaps you've never seen before. After going the majority of the day, I would say just shy of 17 hours, we decided to go ahead and stop in Ontario, Oregon, where we crashed out for the night, but grabbed a bite to eat at this place, Bert's Growler Garage. Highly recommend it. Then we stayed at this motel where they had the biggest cat I'd ever seen in my life. It was a nice stay, but we got up early since we had still 2 more hours to our destination in the morning. So, of course, we needed to get some coffee. Downtown area. We ended up here at Jack Henry Coffee Roasters, which was really good. Ed got his coffee, so he was ready to rock and roll as a pilot once again this morning. And we were scoping this place out and we're really impressed. Really, really, really cool place. If you're in town in Ontario, Oregon, I highly recommend it. Well, we hit the road, and as we were cruising along, we were noticing something and kind of felt that the time wasn't exactly perhaps what it should have been. Rad. So, hey, good morning, Ed. How are you? are you, man?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, so, did we mess up on the time zone, dude?
Maybe.
Who needs an extra hour of sleep? You know, come on. Yes, we had definitely messed up on the time. Apparently, where we were was an hour ahead of where we were going. So we got up with the intention of hitting the road early. Well, we definitely did. We ended up arriving at our destination a whole hour earlier. So we decided to go ahead and stop off and get some breakfast. See it way back there. Ah, funny. There it is back there.
Yeah, and eventually got to stop.
So where's this bus been living all these years?
Pretty much right there.
Really?
Wow, really?
Before that, we lived on Penn. Well, you know, but here in town. And I mean, it's never really been covered or anything. It's always been. But when my dad had it, I mean, this was our workshop. We took it, we filled the back with, debris. We took it to the dump. We did, bins of dirt, bring it back, dump it and everything. Yeah, we can do all that.
I knew your dad. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I first got into Volkswagen. Your dad was kind of getting into Volkswagens, back in the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's a nice guy. We chatted quite a bit at some of the shows.
The inside's definitely the best. The dash is super clean.
Yeah.
The upholstery is pretty good. I think the floor is a little more somewhere on it.
Woohoo! Yeah! Nice. Nice. All right, you guys, I never thought this day would actually happen, but
For real.
I'm actually here with Marco Mays, and this is just wild. This is, I don't know, man, these are the planets aligning, maybe?
The stars.
Right?
The whole galaxy.
Right. Marco, I mean, dude, what's going through your mind right now?
Oh, well, I'm a little sad, but I'm also really happy that finally someone's gonna really love this truck and take care of it and appreciate it. And I think it'll put my soul to rest for a good little bit, I think.
That's awesome, dude. Now, tell me, when was the last time you had an experience in this truck? How old were you?
Probably, well, in high school, this was like my daily driver.
No way.
Yeah, this and the Scirocco.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, I was fucking smoking weed in here, picking girls up.
That's pretty wild, dude.
They're like, hey, you want to take a ride in the dump truck? They're like, what?
What?
I'm like, yeah, I got a Volkswagen dump truck. They're like, shut up, that doesn't exist.
That is funny, dude. And then, so, now, what made your dad get this?
Well, he was an enthusiast himself, and he wanted a work truck. That's what he wanted. He wanted a work truck. And so, gosh darn it, he found himself a dump truck.
That's crazy,
The ultimate
dude.
work truck, right?
And so, as far as the history goes, what do you remember about this truck? You know, you mentioned it's one of 4 in the world.
One of 4 in the world. So yeah, 4 manufactured, 2 Germans, a Belgian and Italian. And I'm pretty sure this is the Belgian model.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, came over on a boat from Bob from BBT had this.
Okay.
And so originally,
Mm-hmm.
so actually another big reason why my dad got all these Volkswagens was he was smuggling beer. So what he would do when he would buy these trucks, he would have the bellies totally filled with crates of beer. In fact, I think there's still a West Mall crate in there.
No way, dude.
And so he would import thousands of dollars worth of beer while he was buying these trucks.
You're kidding me. That's awesome. Okay.
So that was always part of the deal when he got these things.
That's funny.
And so yeah, he always had a big beer supply.
Very
so I
cool.
always kind of wondered why he got a new one every few years, right? Wonder if it was really about the car, huh?
Right, exactly. Oh, that's awesome, man. That is really, really cool. Well, I am stoked, totally stoked. I mean, for people that are listening and watching, you guys may not know it, but I actually have Marco's dad's bucket truck as well. So when I saw this thing come up for sale, I thought, well, time to put the trucks together again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, you guys, so this is kind of crazy. Many, many years ago, I actually wanted to get a bucket truck. And I remember I talked to Bob over at BBT, wanted a bucket truck. He sent me a bucket truck. But the thing is that the reason that I wanted a bucket truck was because before I got the one that Mike Farnham has now, I actually had my eyes on an orange one that David Mays owned. And at the time, couldn't afford it. Years went by and it came up for sale back in Los Angeles. And well, I still couldn't afford it. And so some more time would go by and I was finally able to go ahead and get the truck. After finding it, after doing a quick voiceover job in Burbank for Adam Carolla, I looked, found it and thought, this thing's at a gas station? I'm gonna go check this thing out. And lo and behold, that was it. Bought it, have it. And then for years I had heard a story about how, oh, did you know that David also had a tipper truck? And I thought, tipper truck, wow, what does that look like? Had no clue, had no idea. But there was kind of like this sort of legendary truck that existed somewhere. And sadly, David, rest in peace, is no longer with us. And so couldn't really contact him. I didn't know anybody. And so years have gone by. And then one day, his son Marco posted it for sale on the Samba. That's when I found it. Immediately, I knew, as soon as I saw his last name, I'm like, oh my God, this is it, this is it. So I'm walking around Disneyland on a job and I call Marco, we hit it off, we start chatting, and time went by, we went back and forth, and it just made sense that the two trucks need to be back together again, which is crazy. So fortunate that I've got friends like Ed Hughes who actually went ahead and volunteered his truck and trailer to drive 1,000 miles to come get this truck. So we ended up here, you guys, at LeGrand Auto Repair here in Oregon, in LeGrand. And well, check it out, you guys. Look behind you because here it is. All right, so Marco, walk me through this.
All right, so we put this in here and it takes 72, 73 pumps.
Really? Okay. Hey, Ed, he's gonna start doing the bed here.
We can leave it like that, put the tailgate down, we'll have some more airflow.
Right, right.
There it goes.
Look how nice that bed is.
I know, right?
Original wood lap, that's pretty crazy.
That's crazy, dude. But what's interesting is the wood is only in a couple spots. It wasn't everywhere because there aren't holes for the wood everywhere else. Wow. Now, Ed, you said you saw one time in Germany? You saw one in Germany?
I've seen one in Germany before, yeah.
Wow. This is pretty crazy.
Can we open this up? I'm just gonna put it
Yeah.
with,
Well, we have so in order to put it back down, I guess this.
Oh,
broke.
okay.
You're supposed to be able to just put this in here, but for whatever reason, it's.
Wait, say that again? The other end is supposed to go in there?
Yeah, so this end is supposed to go in here to release it. But
Okay.
It never worked like that. So
Okay.
you have to open the belly.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
that bed would just
Shine.
Like,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It's good.
the outside, something's like there's like primer the outside, right?
It looks like it.
I have a lot of that.
Oh, there you go. It's
There it
like a
is.
beer crate.
Oh, dude, you got to leave that beer crate in there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yep. So that's the hydraulic box thing,
Uh-huh.
and that's
Ah.
the release. So we pumped it up right here.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So you got your spare there too.
Yeah, get their little spare bracket.
Yep, yep.
Floor's a little crusty.
Yeah. There's a hole there.
Look at that. Wow,
Is
it's
it
so
fucking gas
wild.
cap in there? Is it?
Where?
Oh, no, it's something.
Oh.
Oh no,
I
it's
thought
just a
that was
clamp.
the
No,
Yeah.
something else.
Just a clamp.
Oh, how funny. There's the rubber seal. That,
Yeah.
I went in and looked for a gas cap and I couldn't.
You couldn't find it, huh?
But I know we had it.
I mean,
at
it
some
was
point.
there for sure. So, I don't know.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that'll fit right there. Yep.
And then do you just go slowly or what?
Give it a kind of a slow.
Yeah, no, I was just looking. So something was obviously
Yeah, something
missing.
happened to that there. Put it in.
Like a
Stick that nail in.
pin,
there.
like a pin that should have been there.
Could have
Put
been,
it down
yeah.
for a second. I just
That's pretty crazy.
It just doesn't go in quite far enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like.
And maybe that was sticking out further at one
Yeah.
point or something.
well, I think maybe right here, like the pin broke off,
And there was another something that poked out.
and so
Oh, for it to grab like a tooth?
there should have been like a
Like a T?
pin that it would grab,
Yeah,
but that one
yeah.
looks like it broke off.
Mm.
So then somebody
Stuck a nail in
improvised, and
Oh,
now it
that's
has
true.
to go in further. That's probably why that got mushroomed out a little bit,
Mm.
too. Well, probably from use. But,
Mhm.
yeah, no, all solvable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it was when we got. Remember, my dad was
Yeah.
like, "Why doesn't this work?" And then we finally
Mm.
opened it up, and then we're like, "Okay," because we pumped it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember this. We pumped it up, and then we couldn't get it to go back down. We're like, "Oh no, we're fucked."
Original Continental spare tire.
That's wild. Still holds air. Very cool.
Simple.
Yeah, I know. Super simple, huh?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty rad, dude. Very cool. All right, I want to see this thing go down, man. Basically like a floor jack.
Yeah, right.
Same concept. Wow, look at that. Goes down kind of quickly. First stage. Huh?
Like open it up.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I've only ever seen that do it one other time. When we
Really?
did that,
Yeah, like I said, we used to haul all kinds of dirt and mulch and stuff.
yeah, I know.
I would deliver it to people. I actually ran a small business out of here, a street washing business with my buddy for a little while.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
would water the plants downtown with it.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty neat that it was actually used for what it was intended for, you know?
Big time.
Well, that's pretty rad, dude. All right. This thing is very impressive. So, Ed, are you crazy, dude? Seriously, driving 1,000 miles to come grab this thing for your friend? Come on, man.
Oh, no, it's fun. One day, 1,000 miles?
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
What are your thoughts, dude? I mean, you've seen some crazy ass buses.
Oh, it's one of a kind here in the States, and I can't wait to peel back the original paint.
No, dude, I was laughing. You're like, hey, man, let's when we get to our stop, we'll get some materials.
Some some rags, and like I said, this will be original paint when we get to California.
I love it. That's funny. Marco was kind enough to go ahead and sweep out the bed so we didn't have any debris flying off on the freeway. One of the things I definitely love about Volkswagens, aside from the cars, are the friendships that we meet along the way. And I'm pretty sure Marco and I will be keeping in touch for a long time. Is he centered? I think that's good. Keep going, keep going. Once loaded up, it was about 10:35 in the morning, and we decided to go ahead and start heading south. We figured we would go as far as the daylight would allow us to, and then we would crash out and get some rest, only to wake up early once again and continue our southward journey. Once again, we went as far as daylight would allow us to, and we decided to take a nap and hit the road early once again. Of course, when you're on the road as long as we were, you have an opportunity to not only get to know each other a lot better, but to hear some pretty cool stories. Well, needless to say, Ed had some pretty neat stories, and I decided to go ahead and capture one that I think you guys will definitely appreciate. So here you go. All right, you guys, so welcome to VW Stories while on the road. Ed and I are just making our way back from Oregon, and he started telling me the story that I thought this might be kind of fun to share. So welcome, Ed Hughes.
Hey, guys.
So tell me the story, Ed, about your Deluxe. Now explain the details about, like, you know, what year this thing is, and then when you got it, because we were talking about what's the longest bus that he has owned. Well, take it away, Ed.
So I've got a 1953 Deluxe barn door. I bought it in 1987. So I've had it 38 years.
That's a long time, dude. That is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Now, where did you buy this bus?
So
Where'd you find it?
Bought the bus through an ad in the Soto newsletters back when, we got a newsletter mailed to you. You waited every month for your newsletter to look for ads and bargains.
God, pre-internet.
And so I reached out to the previous owner, Tom Landock, and we were able to make a deal to buy the bus. It was a big number back then. It's 24 years old, and we agreed on $4,500 for a 1953 Deluxe.
Oh my God. And I mean, we're talking complete running, driving, like complete interior and everything, or what?
Original interior, original headliner.
Wow.
He had repainted the outside he'd repainted the outside a couple times actually, but the last time he had painted it was about 15, maybe 20 years prior.
Uh-huh.
So the bus still in the exact same condition.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Original interior, headliner, a little more for wear. Outside paint, still the same outside paint, still looks pretty good for what I would probably say is a 50 or 60-year-old paint job.
Wow. It's got to be all the lead in it.
So I bought the bus. I flew out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He picked me up, me and my roommate at the time, Randy, and we jumped in the bus in March, dead of winter, and we headed further east to New Jersey, where my grandparents live, where I planned on having the bus shipped back.
Wow.
We had quite the adventure driving the bus again, pre-internet, pre-phones.
Right.
So looking on a map, paper road map.
Awesome.
They have a ledger that says, 1 inch equals so many miles. And so we did some rough calculations and decided that, it was probably, 100, 150 miles away. And ultimately our calculations were a little off, and I think it ended up being more like 250 or 300 miles away.
No.
So we're driving again, dead of winter, East Coast, bus, no heat, 36 horse.
Oh my gosh.
Up
With
through
snow on the streets? and
we
everything?
were passing. We went through a ski resort. Went past the Volkswagen Museum. I'm sorry, not the Volkswagen Museum, but the Volkswagen factory that used to be in New Jersey,
Right.
which was kind of neat. Got pictures of the bus in front of
Oh,
VW
cool.
Drive.
Wow.
A funny story. We stopped in New Jersey for gas.
Oh, shit.
You couldn't pump your own gas in
Really?
in New Jersey. They had to pump the gas for you. So I was standing there talking with the guy pumping gas, and he comments on the bus and says, that doesn't see too many of these around there anymore, and asked me where I'm from, and I said, well, I'm from California, and I just came out here to buy this bus. And he says, well, where'd you buy it at? And I said, well, I bought it just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We've been driving all day. And he looks at me with a serious look on his face, and he says, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but you're going the wrong way.
No. Oh my God. Oh.
So we laughed, and I said, oh, no, yeah, I am from California, but I'm headed to New Jersey. I'm headed the other direction to take it to my grandparents' house. And so he laughed, and we found it funny. But
That is pretty funny,
so,
dude.
So eventually made it to my grandparents' house.
That's awesome.
They had a freak snowstorm about 2 days later. Woke up to the bus covered in snow.
That's so cool.
Eventually got the bus shipped here to California, and I started taking it out to all the shows, and driving it everywhere and enjoying it.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. So now, okay, so I've seen the bus at your house, but just kind of stored. So what's the story with this thing? When do people get to see it?
It's a great question. I started working on it. I was trying to get it going for the Octo barn door gathering a couple years ago. The transmission had needed to be rebuilt. Had the transmission rebuilt, and I finally decided to have a proper 25 horse engine rebuilt, and I had that done and put in, and I just kind of ran out of time, and it's just got put back on the back burner again. While I do some other projects.
All right.
So 2027.
When?
We've scheduled another barn door gathering for 2027 for the Octo event, and I've got some other things I want to do to it to freshen up a few things, and so my goal is to have it going.
Awesome, dude.
Going by then again.
That'll be nice. Well, looking forward to seeing it. But what you were starting to share the story about that you and your wife were at one of the VW jamborees, and is it true that somebody tried to buy this thing from you?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any car. People are always trying to, people always come up and ask if cars for sale. And back then, I mean, a barn door deluxe was pretty rare. I mean, there was a handful of them at a show, but I mean, if you saw two, maybe three at a big event, that was a lot. And back then it was the 53. It was one of the nicer looking ones. By today's standards, not so much, but back then, it showed very well. So yeah, I was at the Jamboree, Al Martinez Jamboree, their big show that they would have in the summertime. Bus just took first place in the
No way.
in the passenger bus, division.
That's awesome.
Got a really cool 3-foot, 4-foot trophy.
I remember those.
Yeah, so just enjoying the day, and I remember this couple, come up to me and, they start talking about the bus and, talking about how much they like it. And, and then all of a sudden, they says, well, do you want to sell it? I said, no, I don't want to sell it. I really enjoy the bus. I've only had it for a year, maybe 2 years. I don't remember how long I'd had it at that point, but, not that long. And, it's like some people, well, everything's for sale, for the right price.
Right.
And I said, well, sometimes. So they, started to, like, well, what would it take? What's your I don't want to sell it number? And I said, I don't want to sell it, so I'm not giving you a number. So, finally, they says, well, we'll give you $15,000.
Whoa!
Which,
triple.
Again, almost triple what I paid for it in a few years' time. And, it wasn't the money. I said, no, I just don't want to sell it.
There you go.
I like the bus, and so I said, well, we'll give you, we'll give you 16, and then it was 17, and then it was 18, and I don't remember where they
stopped.
I don't remember where they stopped, but finally, I think they finally decided that that I wasn't going to sell. That
That's awesome.
That I was serious, and of course the wife, she was sell, but
That's funny.
and she's sell today. But
Right, nice.
So,
Oh well,
anyway.
I mean, now look at you held on to it, and that was good. No, I think
we missed I think we just missed our
entrance,
our
right.
turn. So
Time to make a Yui.
yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing the story, dude. Sorry I distracted you, man. Look, it's a Loves. Good times. It was definitely a long road trip, but one of the coolest things was seeing another VW bus on the road.